rise of some other divisions. We said that there are the Mu'tazilites, and there's also like Jahmis and Qadaris. Remember, not Qadiris, Qadaris, right? So what was the Mu'tazilites? How did they start, Mu'tazilites? They started during whose time?
Hassan al-Basri.
Hassan al-Basri. Who was Hassan al-Basri? From what generation?
Tabi'in.
From the Tabi'in. He was the leader of the Tabi'in, actually. So he was teaching, right? And what happened?
There was a person like named, someone like this who is giving classes.
Wa'il, do you remember his name? Wa'il ibn Ata, right? Wa'il ibn Ata. Anyways, okay.
He started preaching his own students.
Wasil ibn Ata. He's the one who started
He started his own classes.
his own class in the same gathering, right? The same masjid there. So he went from this place here, he went to a different place, and that was called the Mu'tazil, the one who separated or withdrew. Somebody who withdraws. So what was, if we can say something about the Mu'tazilites, what was their problem? What did they say in regards to Qada and Qadar, if you remember? There were the Qadaris and there were the Mu'tazilites. They had two opposite opinions in regards to the destiny.
The destiny is written and it cannot be changed.
We all believe that. But they went more into extreme. The Qadaris. That yes, there are certain things, but yet our work, our deeds that we do, they also have an impact on what happens. Guys, this is the school then from Imam Hassan al-Basri. We said there are two schools among the three actually, but mainly two, but we consider three, that came out of Hassan al-Basri. We said that those were the Ash'aris and Maturidis. I had people, I asked for some I asked for some comments from last Aqīdah class. And they said, I asked few people, they said, you know what, we loved it, but there's a lot of names. And I'm not going into so many names. These names, if I don't mention, and if I don't repeat to you these names, learning Aqīdah doesn't make sense. Because these are very, very important names that all of us we need to be aware of. It's a part of the history. Is what caused so many divisions, is how people they get divided and they get lost. Because history sometimes it repeats itself. The actions of the Khawarij, we see it similarly in ISIS or al-Qaeda or similar groups like that, with the same mentality. The my way or highway mentality, it still exists in these very extreme groups. So you know where they are based on. You know that the Aqīdah that they believe in, the impact of the major sin. So there were two, mainly two, the Ash'aris and the Maturidis. So when it comes to the Ash'aris, Imam Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari was a direct student of
Sahaba of
Wasil ibn Ata, right? He was a direct student of his, as a matter of fact. He withdrew from that group and he said, you know what? This is, he followed the creed of Imam Hassan al-Basri. And so on. And we talked about little differences between them, right? About the word of Iman, whether Iman increases or decreases, and there are some other differences. But inshallah, for the sake of time, we're just going to go through quickly here and start with our new lesson today. But just remember these names, okay? Imam Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari, the Ash'ari school of Aqīdah. Very important. Usually the Shafi'is, the Malikis, they follow the school in Aqīdah. Shafi'is and Malikis, they follow the Ash'ari Aqīdah. Hanafis usually, like, big percentage, I will not be mistaken if I say 95% or probably more, they follow the Maturidi Aqīdah, school of Aqīdah. And there are also, we said, Hanafis who would follow the Ash'ari Aqīdah as well. And the other one is the Atharis. Atharis is Aqīdah which is very more straightforward and doesn't go into so many details, and this is mainly related to the Hanbali school of thought. A lot of the Hanbalis, they would follow this Athari Aqīdah, which is still okay. Alright, so today inshallah we're going to talk a little bit about Imam Tahawi. Why this Imam who wrote this book of Aqīdah is so important. What caused this book of Aqīdah, al-Tahawiyyah, to be so famous all over the world? And students, since they are young, they study this and they even memorize Aqīdah of Imam al-Tahawi. What's the reason? Why? So let's dwell a little bit on his life and let's see what this Imam is and who he was. For a lot of us, it's the first time that we're hearing this. Imam al-Tahawi. Tahawi. What is this guy? What is this man? So his full name is Abu Ja'far Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Salama al-Tahawi. Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Salama al-Tahawi, or Abu Ja'far al-Tahawi, or Ahmad ibn Muhammad al-Tahawi, you can call him like that too, or simply Imam al-Tahawi. So he came from a very rich family, from a place called Taha in Egypt, Upper Egypt. And he was born in the year 853. Right during the time when the last fourth Imam of the school of thought, the Hanbali school of thought, passed away. And who was that Imam? The fourth Imam of the school of thought? Who said it? Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Beautiful. So Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal passed away, I believe, in 855. He was born 2 years before Imam Ahmad actually passed away. Imam al-Tahawi. So he is from the early generations. How many of you bought the book, purchased the book?
You got the PDF in the
You got the PDF? Okay. So it's good to kind of follow it too, as maybe at least have it ready or something. So on the first page, from the author's biography, page number 25, we find here that Imam al-Tahawi's mother was his first teacher. Was first teacher and also a scholar. His mother was his own teacher, and she was also a scholar, meaning that she used to teach the others as well. Her brother, so it would be Imam Tahawi's uncle, Imam Muzani, who died in 878, was a direct student of Imam al-Shafi'i. So he learned directly from Imam al-Shafi'i. Imam Suyuti, now remember this name, this is a very important name in the Islamic sciences. Imam Suyuti wrote about her, about the mother of Imam al-Tahawi. She used to attend the circle of Imam al-Shafi'i and is quoted by Imam al-Rafi'i in the section on zakat. So her words are being quoted on other fiqh books. She is also mentioned by Imam al-Subki. Also Imam al-Subki is great scholar in the Shafi'i fiqh. And also by Imam al-Asnawi in his biographical collection of Shafi'i scholars. So this Imam puts a book about the scholars of the Shafi'i madhab, and she is listed among those scholars. So this shows that in the Islamic scholarship we didn't have only men, but we also had many women as well. And these women, scholar women, they produced great scholar men, like Imam al-Tahawi and others. Imam al-Shafi'i as well was a student of a great female teacher. Alright, so have one thing. Imam Tahawi was raised as a Shafi'i. So he was, since his family, they were direct students of Imam Shafi'i, you know, this is what they brought in their house. So it was a Shafi'i family. And he was brought like that, but then later on, he changed his fiqh school and he became a Hanafi. More power to Hanafis right here. He became a Hanafi. He started following the Hanafi school of thought. He was convinced that it is much better. Now we're going to read something from here. Imam al-Tahawi earned his distinction of practicing in his maternal uncle's celebrated gatherings of Shafi'i's jurisprudence, but he was never a blind follower. Despite all of his significant Shafi'i scholars in his family, including Imam al-Shafi'i's own students, which is his uncle, and also his uncle and his sister, not Imam Tahawi's sister, but it happened here to be his auntie, so the uncle and the auntie, and even the mother too, sitting there with with Imam Shafi'i as well. Imam al-Tahawi did not find intellectual satisfaction within the confines of Imam Shafi'i's school of thought, and eventually abandoned it, choosing instead the broader methodological school of the Persian jurist Imam Abu Hanifa al-Nu'man bin Thabit, who died in 767. Imam al-Tahawi not only excelled in the Hanafi school, but became a preeminent scholar and proponent. Alright, so these stories are corroborated by Imam Tahawi's biographer, the great 20th century Hadith scholar and Hanafi master of the Islamic sciences, Sheikh al-Kawthari. Imam al-Kawthari, rahimahullah ta'ala, he was the Sheikh of my Sheikh, Imam al-Kawthari, who died in 1951. So he collected a lot of these biographies, and he was a great Hanafi master in the Islamic sciences. And Imam al-Kawthari here, when he talks about Imam al-Tahawi in his biography, he says, by the way, Imam al-Kawthari was the secretary of the last Shaykh al-Islam. Shaykh al-Islam was the mufti of the whole world during the time of the Khilafah, of the Sultanate, of the Ottoman Sultanate. So he was the last Khalifa. He was the secretary of the last Khalifa, the secretary of the Shaykh al-Islam of the last Khalifa. But they were very close to each other, knowledge-wise too. He was very, very knowledgeable. And he lived in Egypt. He also lived in Syria. And a great scholar of the 20th century, of the 19th and the 20th century. As Imam al-Tahawi increased in legal knowledge under the tutelage of Imam al-Mazuni, he found himself pulled between the ebb of following a flow of constitutional law and statute law, between aggressive approaches and cautious ones, between legal precedents and new problems, and he was not always satisfied with his uncle's answers. So you will find there in page 27, towards the end of that page, you will find more details from Imam al-Kawthari in regards to the biography of Imam al-Tahawi, and also you have it on the page 28 as well, the beginning of it. So I'm going to skim through quickly, and I'm going to go into page 32, and this is a chapter that talks about the intellectual legacy of Imam al-Tahawi, the eminent jurist and erudite polymath Shah Waliullah al-Dahlawi, very popular Indian scholar. If the Indian brothers here, they're unaware of him, it's not an excuse. It shouldn't be an excuse. So you have to read his books.
What was the name again?
Imam Dahlawi, Shah Dahlawi. Yes, so the full name that is mentioned right here, Shaykh Waliullah al-Dahlawi. Hujjatullah al-Baligha. This is what he's known for. He wrote an amazing book called Hujjatullah al-Baligha. It's in Urdu, it should be in Urdu and all that. So Imam Dahlawi, Shaykh Waliullah Dahlawi. He wrote also a very important book on Usul al-Tafsir as well, on the foundation of the the foundations of the Quranic exegesis, or Quranic commentary, tafsir, what we call it now. So he's the one who wrote on that. And a lot of schools, they use that book, fi usul al-tafsir, from Imam Shahidullah Dahlawi. So don't forget that name, and get this book, what I just mentioned to you right now. Hujjatullah al-Baligha, I think the concise science of Quran or something like that. But if you put this Hujjatullah al-Baligha, or if you just search for his name, it'll come up. This name of the book, if you don't remember now. I mean, if you don't remember later, you will be able to find it. And read it. Read it, it's really amazing book. And this is the pride of India. Imam Shah Waliullah Dahlawi is the pride of India. He was a great muhaddith, great mufassir, great faqih, had all of these great attributes. And he wrote, and he's been followed all over actually. So he's from Dahlawi, right? Are you guys familiar? It's Delhi. It should be Delhi, right?
Delhi.
Most likely, yeah, it should be Delhi, the capital. Alright, so he stated in regards to Imam al-Tahawiyyah, Shah Waliullah Dahlawi said, the mukhtasar of Imam al-Tahawi in jurisprudence. So mukhtasar means the summarized. Why summarized? Because scholars back then, they would write like 20 volumes of books. So instead of writing 20 volumes, sometimes they would also write a summarized version. Or scholars after them, they would compile all of that knowledge of 20 volumes and just put it in one thick book, for example, as a summary. Have you guys seen summarized Sahih Bukhari, for example? There's only one book that has all 5-6 volumes. They are in one book. Not all of them, but it just picks the most important and the hadiths that are not being repeated, for example. Or you have another book, Tafsir Ibn Kathir. Are you guys familiar?
Yep.
Tafsir Ibn Kathir, have you seen it? It's like 10 volumes in English language, right? Have you ever seen the English language of that Tafsir?
See the book, one book complete.
No, it's like 10 books. But that's Mukhtasar. 10 books is the Mukhtasar, is the summarized version. In reality, there are over 20 or 30 volumes in reality. Like, let's say 30 volumes, they are summarized in 10 volumes. Still it is Mukhtasar, okay? So, there is a lot of this that happened throughout the centuries in order to reduce that, to make it accessible to other people as well, and not just to, because those can be good for like researches. They become like encyclopedia. Like you take al-Jami'ah of Imam Qurtubi in the science of tafsir. I mean, yes, like 20-some volumes of his tafsir. That's not gonna be useful for lay people. That's not gonna be used for for somebody who just wants a simple answer. Because for one answer, for one word, he may have like 2 pages. Explain, well, some scholars they said this, some scholars they said this, So it becomes like an encyclopedia. That's why scholars, to make it more accessible and easy for others who don't want to go into those details, they just wrote this mukhtasar. Okay, so anyway, going into this one, into Shah Waliullah Dahlawi, the mukhtasar of Imam al-Tahawi in jurisprudence, in fiqh, proves that he was an independent scholar and did not merely regurgitate the opinions of the Hanafi school. Upon finding proofs that weakened the Hanafi position, he would follow the stronger position independent in his own school. So in other words, Imam al-Tahawi was a mujtahid. What does a mujtahid mean? Somebody who is even capable of having his own school of thought. That is a mujtahid. He doesn't need to follow a particular school of thought. But he has reached a high level of being able to derive the rulings from the sources itself. He derives the religious rulings from the sources. And he has all the tools in order to derive those rulings. He knows the tafsir, he knows the Arabic language perfectly well, he knows the hadith very well. And based on his own tools that he has, he can derive it automatically. So he doesn't need to necessarily follow a school of thought. How many mujtahids we have? Very few in the world. Some say we don't have any mujtahid nowadays. Allahu A'lam. But to be a mujtahid is a big thing. Not every scholar is a mujtahid. You can have 10 PhDs and still you may not even be mujtahid. So it requires somebody to really be like in that caliber of like Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi, Imam Yusuf, Imam Shaybani, Imam Zufar, and so many other scholars. Even though they were mujtahids, but they still followed out of respect, they remained under the umbrella of the Hanafi school of thought. Imam al-Tahawiyyah did that. Imam Ibn Yusuf did that. Imam Shaybani did that. All of these scholars, they were mujtahids on their own field, but still out of respect, they remained under the umbrella of the Hanafi school of thought. Nowadays, we have people who have no knowledge, and all of a sudden, they claim, hey, we don't follow this madhab. Why do we need to follow madhab? Why is it so important to follow madhab? Look at Akhi, they say, look, you have the Quran in front of you, you have the hadith right in front of you. Who are you to evaluate the hadith? Do you have the tools to evaluate the hadith? Oh, but قال Shaykh Albani, or قال Shaykh Hada, or Shaykh Hada. So then you are depending on shuyukhs in order for them to give you the answers. Isn't what, I mean, it's so crazy. It's crazy when you hear these people say words like that. Like, we don't need a madhab. Like, subhanAllah, they have reached the state of ijtihad. They're able to do this ijtihad, this research based on their own. And when you ask them, what do you do? Oh, brother, I'm a mechanic. Hey, what do you do? I clean, places and But I read Sahih Bukhari. I read Sahih Muslim. I have it at home. So I can see the hadith, which hadith is sound and which is not sound. These are people that we're facing with nowadays. These are the people who are refusing to follow a madhab. And we have even a sect called La Madhabis. They're called La Madhabis. They don't follow any madhab. And they say that following a madhab is bid'ah. Right away, bid'ah. What? It is bid'ah? Then everything is bid'ah. Fiqh is bid'ah. Aqīdah is bid'ah. Tafsir is bid'ah. All of this thing is bid'ah. Everything is bid'ah. There was no science of Aqīdah during the time of the Prophet, but still they follow the Aqīdah. They have their own scholars. So they're following somebody in Aqīdah. Ibn Taymiyyah, they're following Ibn Taymiyyah in Aqīdah. Isn't that bid'ah? Oh, no, brother, that's not a bid'ah. Why is that a bid'ah? There was no science of Aqīdah. Tafsir. Why are you following these certain scholars in tafsir books? They are just against anything that is traditional in Islam and the whole world has been following for centuries and centuries. They are the rebellious people. These are the rebellious mentality who are like, you know what, everybody's wrong, I'm right. Like, how in the world would you think that this ummah for 1400 years would be without a true scholarship? We had millions and millions of scholars who dwelt into these sciences, and all of a sudden, without authority, without formal training at all of these people, they have no formal training. They have read a book here and there, they listen to some lectures on YouTube, and they're all of a sudden, mashallah, they know how to, they have all the tools necessary in order for them to, to do research and in order for them to derive rulings, religious rulings. They can cause people to die. They can cause, God forbid if they have things in their hand. So, Anyways, I just thought that this is a very important point to mention, right here. These big scholars like Imam al-Tahawiyyah and so many others, they just decided to be under the umbrella of the Hanafi school of thought. Anyways, Shah Waliullah continues. In a summary, Imam al-Tahawi should be counted among the same class of scholars of Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad Shaybani. These are the students of Imam Abu Hanifa who are considered, as I told you, mujtahids. Imam al-Kafari considered the Imam intellectually free of the confines of the methodologies of any specific legal school, a level hardly any jurist in Muslim history has ever achieved. He says, undoubtedly, Imam Tahawi obtained the rank of complete methodological independence concerning legal issues, ijtihad mutlaq, notwithstanding the fact that he maintained allegiance to Imam Abu Hanifa. So this is recognized. His work on juristic differences alone, according to his biographers, comprised of 130 volumes. They had barakah in their time, guys. We can't even write a book in our lifetime. 130 volumes. It comprises his writings. These are the scholars that we're dealing with. And also Imam al-Subki, the great Shafi'i scholar, noted that the Hanafis, Shafi'is, Malikis and Hanbalis are in one creed. Whether they're Maturidis or Ash'aris are in one creed. Imam al-Subki. All of them follow, he says, the opinion of the people of the prophetic way and the majority of the scholars. And he goes into some explanations there. Page number 34, for those who are interested there. And also, talking about Imam Tahawi, the last thing that we're going to mention, inshallah, here. Once Imam Tahawi was with the notable Maliki Qadi Abu Uthman bin Hamad al-Baghdadi, when a person from Aswan asked Imam Tahawi a legal question. He answered by giving the Qadi's opinion on the matter. What is a Qadi?
Judge.
A judge. So Imam Tahawi was sitting with this Maliki Qadi. And somebody came and he asked a question. He answered by giving the Qadi's opinion on that matter. Imam Tahawi did not give his own opinion, but he gave the opinion of the Qadi, of the judge. The man retorted, I did not come here to ask the Qadi. I came to ask you. I want your opinion. Sounds familiar? Okay. The Imam responded, look at this. My goodness, I answered your question already with the opinion of the Qadi. And then, reiterated his initial response. Abu Uthman interjected, the Qadi, right? Interjected. Give him your opinion. May God subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you success. To this Imam said, may God speed you. Does the Qadi permit me to do so? If that be the case, I will indeed. The Qadi said, indeed sir, I do. So please give the opinion. Look at this respect, look at it. These are not just extra words that they are choosing to use, no. This is out of the adab. These are all parts of adab. Nowadays, you have an Imam present, for example, and somebody's asking a question, and the person who is not qualified or the person who has no formal training is the person to right away, this is how it is. And the Imam usually, or the alim or whoever is there, they're silent. They're just like, okay, what did just happen there? Habibi, let the qualified person give the answer. Let the qualified person, don't volunteer to, because the answer has a responsibility. The word that you say has a responsibility. So you can see this, right? He was a mujtahid, and there is the Qadi. Usually the mujtahid is way above the Qadi. Mujtahid is way above the Qadi. However, since he was a Qadi, since he was the man of law, he respected him in front of the person. So, only then did Imam al-Tahawi answer the question with his own opinion. Alright, so another occasion, the Emir of Egypt, Abu Mansur al-Khazri, paid Imam al-Tahawi a visit as a way of currying favor with the masses. It was the custom of many rulers to marry their daughters to notable and beloved scholars. You have a king, he has 2, 3 daughters. Alright, I'm going to give this daughter to Imam Didmar, for example. Just example, right? Or I'm going to give this daughter to Hafiz Fawaz, right? Just giving examples. So this was the practice that these muluk, these kings used to do. So the Emir offered his own daughter in marriage to Imam al-Tahawi, who graciously declined. He said, no, thank you. I will do the same, out of fear of my wife. The Emir then offered him wealth and land. He said, okay, if that's the case, you don't want to marry my daughter, here is whole, half of Cairo, for example. Or this is how much you can have, gold and whatever. Imam Tahawi also turned down those offers. He said, I don't need them. The Emir then asked the Imam to request whatever he wished for, or needed. Whatever he wished for or needed, whatever he needed. Imam al-Tahawi responded, will you truly listen and fulfill my request? Of course, the Emir replied. Imam Tahawi then said, be vigilant in protecting your religion in order that it not be lost. Work to free your soul before death's night falls on you. Are then unable to do so. Like, night comes, you're not going to be able to escape from death, So take care of your soul. Finally, refrain from oppressing and burdening any of God's servants. And perhaps that he may not be doing it, since Imam Tahawi accepted to go in as, usually the scholars, they would not deal with these kings, but perhaps he was a good king. But still, he is recommending him to be just and not to oppress the people. Take care of your own soul and also take care of your religion. These were the 3 advices that he gave. Subhanallah. He is looking, look at this, man, look. And somebody's offering a lot of wealth, right? And what's the approach of the people? People would say like, no, thank you, right? This is a typical, somebody who's very generous or rich or something like that would say, no, thank you, I have my own. Just simply deny the offer, and that's it. And somebody who wants to, somebody who is also rich, like the first person, would say, you know what? If you need help, thank you, but also if you need help, I can also help you whenever you need. Right? Somebody who's in the same level. Like, so I don't feel offended by your offer. I can offer you the same thing, kind of. We're all the same level here. He goes into another level where he not only is rejecting, but also is saying, hey, take care of yourself. This is the true this is your true advice, and this is your true time. This is the thing that you need to busy your time with. And I'm going above the wealth. And this was the sifa. This was the character of these scholars, of the big scholars. Like saying that, he's not saying I'm above you, but his jest here, he's saying like, I'm over here and you're over here. I'm over here. I wanna make sure that your soul is safe. You here, you want to make sure that my body is safe. I don't care about my body, right? Because wealth and all this, it's worldly matters. He's saying here, I am concerned about your And in order to show you that I'm so serious about your soul and justice and religion, I am rejecting whatever you have there, and I am only paying attention to that, to those advices, by rejecting everything else. SubhanAllah, I mean, look at nowadays we can't do it. Even us imams or scholars or whatever, we can't do it, because Islamically, it's not haram to accept a gift, right? It's not haram. But he's trying to teach him a lesson here, that I'm refusing this, I'm hitting other points here, to show you that I'm so engaged, and I'm paying so much importance to these points, that I'm showing to you that I have no interest whatsoever on these other things. So therefore, open your ears and listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because I am serious. Otherwise, if he would have accepted those and then said to the rulers, you know what? Yeah, but also at the same time, thank you for all your generosity. I accept your daughter. I accept your wealth or whatever. But also, I have few advices to give you. How does that sound? Yeah, whatever. Okay, you gotta do it. Just say whatever you gotta say, and okay. It's up to me whether I wanna take them into consideration seriously or not. I already gave you, I already made you happy. I already gave you some warmth. No. He didn't accept anything in order to show him that what I'm about to tell you, you need to take it seriously. So anyways, these are, upon hearing this advice, the Emir left the Imam's house. And it is said that after the meeting, he seized any transgression. It appears probably there was some transgression, but he sees the transgressions that he had been warned to commit. See, this is the power of these, not just scholars, not scholars by information, because even the computer nowadays, one of these devices right here in front of me, they can have more information than I do right now. But that's not equal to me. Why? Because I have a personality, I have a character, I have a soul. And that's what counts more than just information. And the most beautiful thing is for the servant to have knowledge, to have that information, but also to be accompanied by actions, by beautiful character. That is the best thing that somebody can have. Otherwise, if you have only manners and no knowledge, you're still good. If you have only knowledge but no manners, you're bad. If you have them both, you're the best. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who have them both of them. وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. This concludes the chapter that talks about the biography of Imam al-Tahawiyyah. Inshallah, next time we're going to talk about, right away we're going to get into the subject itself, which is the text or the matan of the Aqīdah. والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
Imam, one question, Imam.
Yes.
You said, Imam, about the mujtahid,